What's good, YouTube? Thank you for taking the time out to listen to what I have to say. It's going to be beneficial to you, I'm sure, because yes, this is another relationship video. If you don't want to hear another one, go on and log off. But if you do, thank you for staying. And so let's get right into the video. And the reason why I decided to make this video was because women today tolerate way more than what they need to. We don't allow a man to court us. We don't allow space for a man to show us who he is. We tolerate disrespect in forms of ignored phone calls and ignored texts. We tolerate men putting us in a box as an option instead of actually being the one that he chooses. And a lot of times this happens is, one, either you gave it up too quickly, and we all guilty of doing that, intentionally or not intentionally, but men don't care. When you do it, he's gonna look at you sideways like you've done that all the time. Like that's like your nature. He's not gonna look at it, oh, maybe she's just, she was just into me, so that's why she decided to do that with me and da da da. Most of the time, you're gonna get guys that will say, oh, she's easy. I'm gonna put her in the box until I get tired of her. I'll take her out when I want to play with her. Here's my little toy, and then put her back in the box when I'm tired of playing with her. And then on to the next. And when I get tired with that one, I'll swing back around and I'll come back. I'll spin the block and come back and check on that and see if it's still available. And that's what happens. He's just start looking at you as just like a piece of tail if you do that. And it's really unfortunate because you can have a connection with that person and you just was in a moment and you got caught up in a moment and you normally wouldn't do anything like that. But when you do it, you still viewed the same way as someone that isn't as classy and they're ratchet. So you could be a high class woman, you have sex on the first night, he's going to put you in a ratchet box. He's going to be like, oh, she's just like the rest of them. And you may not necessarily be that way. So you can't give away your precious time and your precious jewel down there too easily. That's point blank period. And yeah, men respect what they have to earn. When it all boils down to it, a man gonna respect what he earns and what he put time in and effort to get. And because he wants I'm so sorry, bloop. He wants a return on his investment. So if he's like spending money on you, taking you on trips, getting to know you, whining and dining you, taking you on dates. Some say that you should at least go on 12 dates before you have sex with him. That's subjective. That's it all depends. Some may object to that. It all depends what type of man you're dealing with. A player, you definitely can't give it up to him too easily. He definitely gonna put you in a box. Yeah. I let a man string me along way too long that I shouldn't have. And years, so many of your precious years go by. 1 year become 2, 2 years become 3, 4 years become 5, and so on and so on. Sometimes, let me tell you, this behavior could last for like 20 years. And you think, I've been with this man for 20 years and he ain't acting right. He treated me worse than when we first met, or maybe was good in the beginning, but you let him slide with so much, he has no respect for you. And he not going to, sometimes he's going to outright be, slander you, to his friends, or he might say something disrespectful to you and call you out your name. just to see how you're going to react to it. That's when these tests begin. He's going to start doing things to see how your reaction is to his negative behavior. So if he's giving you negative behavior and you reinforce it with positive behavior, he's going to lose respect for you. No, you don't reinforce negative behavior with positive behavior. That's the opposite. That's dumb. No, you meet him where he's at. So if he's giving you negative behavior, oh no, you pull back. So you have to pull back your energy in some way, some form. That either that, you go missing for like 3 days, you disappear, no call, no text. And then when you come back around, he start questioning you, yo, what's up, duh? Maybe that's a conversation that you guys can have. But you must always be open and honest with a man, because he will press the line and toe the line to see how much he can get away with. So yeah, I came on here because I said, listen, I'm just sick and tired of us complaining to one another, especially friends. We complaining to our family members. They tired of hearing our mess. We complaining to our friends, and if it's been like 5-6 years and you keep talking about the same guy, they gonna be looking at you like, damn girl, you still connected, you still attached to this dude, like, yo, get over it. They ain't gonna say it to hurt your feelings, but they gonna look at you like, really, girl, you still on him? Girl, he showed you who he was like so many times. So you don't want to be put in a position to feel that way. Men think more logical, so they are able and equipped to have sex with you on a dime, with anybody, anywhere, anytime, without no feelings attached. Now, they may get whipped if the coochie is really, really good. I'm sorry, if they're having sex with you and it's really, really good. They may be attached to that, but they won't be attached to you emotionally. They'll be attached to you physically. And so lies the disrespect, because if you had waited, then he would have got to know you mentally. And then that would have been an emotion. Then he would have got to know you emotionally and then physically. Physically should always end up last when you are interacting with a male. Some people kiss on the first night. I don't advise that. But it happens. But you definitely don't supposed to have sex. Wait it out. Give him a chance to say, oh, this girl, she's fun, she's dope, I like the way she thinks. And if you never had that chance to do that, then just dead it. Yeah. So here we are. I'm going to touch on 3 points. And I hope that you find this information informative. What I have to say, informative and insightful, and you can take it with you and utilize it and not make those same mistakes moving forward. Let this be the catalyst to better relationships, developing relationships, whether it's with your mate, mostly with your mate, or someone that you care about. But we must allow a man space and time to put in effort for us. Allow him to court you. What happened to that? We lost wind of that. We lost what's essential in getting to know someone and getting to and actually evolving into a successful relationship. Back in the days, not too far back because I'm not that old, but like in the 90s, a man had to take you out. You wasn't just getting no kitty cat. He was not going to get your precious jewels. He had to take you out a couple of times, and he had to try hard. I remember going on a date with this guy, and I was telling him, like, listen, okay, I was curbing him. I'm not going to lie. I was curbing him. I was like, oh, no, I'm good. Because I already knew, like, I was, like, not really interested in him. But then he was like, just one date. He just kept telling me that. So I was like, all right, just one date. So I go on a date with him. And when I went to go meet him, I saw his knuckles, right? And I was like, oh, what is on his knuckles? Like, he just, like, fight a lot. It was like little warts on his knuckles. I was like, ew. So I still went. Like, when I saw that, I was, like, so turned off. Like, oh, I do not want his little crater hands on me. And then we went out on a date. I don't know if it was Red Lobster or where we went. to, what restaurant we went to, but I think it was Red Lobster because I remember getting like lobster tail and all of that. I think so. Well, anywho, we double dated with somebody he knew, him and this girl and this guy, and I ain't know none of them people. But I went along or whatever because he was like, yeah, no problem, we don't gotta do nothing, yada yada. So then he proceeded to take me home, and when we got to in front of my building, he was like, oh, can we spend more time together? I was like, no. I was like, I'm not trying to. He was like, we can't go sit down and talk somewhere. I was like, no, I'm tired. I told you that I just was going out and going back home or whatever. And he was like, you sure? You sure? So the fact that he kept on saying you sure is like he was really trying to slide, try to be sneaky and slide into getting some tail from me. And I was like, no, I kind of told you already before you even took me on a date that wasn't going to happen. And I stuck to my guns. He never called me back again. You see, that's what you want to happen. You want to say no and he disappeared, or you say no. And if he really likes you, he'll take you out more and try to court you. But a lot of us miss the ball. We drop the ball when it comes to that. Sometimes we like a guy, we are like highly attracted to him, and he make a move on us. He might start kissing on our neck, and for some of us, that's our weak spot. And he'll just make a move, and then you kind of get caught up and have sex with the person, and then he loses respect for you after that most of the time. I've heard of like some successful relationships that last after one night stands, but it's very few and in between. Like I have a cousin that he said before he married his wife, he was like, oh yeah, she had sex with me on the first night. But he was seeing two different girls anyway. Like he was still doing him, but he wanted marrying the one that he had sex with on the first night. Because she just kept being who she was. He said she was authentic. She had an authentic personality, and she was consistent and persistent. And I think he knew that, and she wasn't argumentative. And the other girl that he was with, she liked to argue a lot. And he said if he ever married someone, he never want to be with someone that argues all the time or feel like everything is a debate and, things like that. He said he didn't want to he wanted to come home to a peaceful home. And so that's why he chose her. But again, we cannot, just because we see a successful relationship after one night stands, we got to protect ourselves with having sex with these men, on the first night. Yeah, you just got to be very, very, very careful. I remember, in the 90s, you had to be courted, and the baby boomers, you was being taken care of. Yeah, you took care of home. You kept the house. You was a homemaker. You kept the house clean. You had the floors washed, the dishes clean. You had his meal ready. So that was your job. But guess what? He was a breadwinner. He brought everything home to you. And he took care of you. And, he treated you like a wife. Yeah, we don't have that anymore. And I think the tables turn, and a lot of women are buying men Gucci sneakers and taking them on trips and all of that because the D is good. And I'm like, just to keep a man. And he's going to stick around with that one that's buying him all of that stuff. But either he going to really love that person in it eventually, or he's going to be using her till he can't use her no more. But yeah, if somebody's if a guy getting trips to Maldives, okay, and Jamaica, and these cruises and all of that, and he getting money for females and freaking Gucci, $600 Gucci, $700 Gucci sneakers, and Chanel, da 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 da, whatever it is, Louis Vuitton for men. You think that he's not gonna play her clothes? He's gonna play her clothes. She's buying his love. That's not real. That's not real. But in order to keep a man, a lot of women are doing that nowadays. And it's just making it more and more difficult for genuine women to be recognized or taken seriously. So that's why we have to take ourselves seriously. In order to be taken seriously, we have to take ourselves seriously and not give ourselves away too easily. So, another thing too that I want to touch on is stop dating people for like 10, 20 years and you don't have a ring on it yet. I've done that, guilty. Not really dating, because actually dating is gathering data. And I'll be honest with you, it takes a long time to get to know someone. But don't let anyone string you along. This is number two. That was number one. Number one is, let a man court you. Number two, do not date a man past 2 years. Um, excuse me, without any commitment. Because after the 2 year mark, he knows that he has you and he knows that he can string you along, especially if you didn't require anything more from him. Men are not going to offer you anything. You have to put your foot down and require it from him. He will begin to take you for granted if he feels like he'll just say these little things, and if he feels like he still got you, he'll go on his way and do his thing, and know that when he's done doing his thing, that when he spin the block, you're going to be available. And you never want to give a man space to feel that way. You never want to give a man feel like, oh, yeah, I got this one in the bag. Let me go see what's over there. No, never give a man that much power. Because you're gonna become resentful of him over time. Right now, you wouldn't, or when you're in the mix of it, you may not feel like that, but like over time, as years go by, you're gonna become resentful of him and eventually leave. But it's gonna take, because he's been disrespectful all these years, over the years, then you're forced to leave. A lot of times us women too reinforce bad behavior. And let me tell you what this looks like. You told him not to come in late. You told him that his time to come in is around 2 o'clock in the morning. He can't come in past, no, let's make it better. He can't come in a house past 12 midnight, right? Not really necessarily a curfew. It's just being respectful. You don't come to someone's house super late, or you don't come home super late. And so that's when you say, okay, you set ground rules, right? So then he'll test the waters. You told him what the ground rules are, right, in a relationship. And he'll test the waters and come in at one. You don't speak up for yourself, but you giving him breakfast in the morning, or you catering to him. And he feels like, oh, she ain't honored what she said. She said, don't come in at this time. Mind you, he not telling you that, but he registering all of that in his head. Like, oh, she telling me one thing, but if I break the law, if I break the rule, then look, I'm still getting breakfast. I'm still getting it. No, you don't feed his behind nothing. You don't feed his ass nothing. You supposed to speak on it. Oh, I see that you came in at 1 o'clock last night. I thought we spoke on 12 o'clock. If we can't communicate and be on the same page, let me know. If you're taking this relationship seriously, or should we move on, or should we make another rule, or should we revisit what is okay to do and what is not okay to do. A conversation always has to take place, ladies, and a lot of times we are afraid to put our foot down, to speak up for ourselves. And men know that, and they will take advantage, and they will manipulate situations to get away with it, and push the tape and push the tape and push the tape. And sometimes it's to your breaking point. And yeah, by that time it's like kind of like too late. But another way we reward negative behavior is that say over the weekend you guys got into an argument, he got super disrespectful, he never apologized, but then you turn around, you have sex with him. He registering all of that in his head. Like, trust me, ladies, don't think that you're doing stuff and he not looking at you sideways for he knows when he's doing wrong. You know, children know when they're doing wrong, so adult definitely knows when they have done something wrong. Okay. We have to be very, very careful. And I'm guilty of a lot of stuff that I'm telling you. Because we lead with our heart and men lead with their penises. Okay, let's just keep it frank. And so we got to switch that up. It's nothing wrong with having a great heart, but we share our heart to when it's reciprocated. That's what we have to learn to do. So yeah, number 2, you guys, please, do not date past 2 years or 3 years. Do not let 3, 4, 5, 6 years go on and you don't have a ring, you don't have any commitment, and he's future faking. Oh yeah, I'm not ready, but in the future, I'm not ready, but probably in 5 years, I'm not ready, but I see, maybe it's a potential future with you. I'm not this, don't let nobody put you and save you for later. Put you on the shelf and save you for later. Don't let nobody do that to you. Know your worth. That's number 3. Know your worth. Know whose you are. Know who you are. Know whose you are. And when it's time to bolt and dead that situation and get rid of that relationship, it's okay to have a conversation about it. You revisit, say, hey, we looking for different things. You never want to curse him out and then dip. You want to kind of say, okay, if it was a long time if you guys did share each other's heart, you could say something like, it's been this amount of time and we want different things and it's time for us to move on. You got to put it in your own words. But I believe that we're looking for different things and I want you to find love like I tend to do, something like that. And then you must be willing to walk away. You must be willing to never look back. And you can't be afraid to say that. I don't know, you can put it in your own words, but it has to be something to that extent. You never want to leave bitter. And you have to stick to your guns. It's no more. And I have to say this. A lot of times we say that and then we spin the block. We say these certain things like, oh, we want different things and da. Or we'll say something when we feel like we're done with a situation, we done with a man. We'll say certain things. And then we'll spin a block and he's like, yep, gotta. And you don't want him to feel that way because anything you say after that, he's not going to take you seriously. Anything you say after you leaving and then you coming back, he's not going to take you seriously at all. So ladies, I hope you found this message informative. Care about yourself, love yourself more, know your worth. Take care of yourself, take care of your heart, put you first. And it's nothing wrong with getting to know someone, but love yourself more than you love that person and everything will work itself out. So again, join my team, like, subscribe, and share with your friends, share it with someone that maybe need to hear this. Until next time, my beautiful ones, my beautiful ladies, ciao.